It's Wednesday here at Brave New Coin. Let's take a look at some DeFi charts. DeFi review day is upon us. And in general, we've gone from looking decently bullish across the board to more neutral ranging to leaning bearish. And it's so hard to get a good grasp on what's going on when we're ranging because from week to week, we can be plus or minus 50%. And we can sneeze plus or minus 15 to 25% in a day. So there's lots of sentiment whipsaws, but TVL is down slightly. It was basically at all-time highs. Some of this is ETH appreciation. Some of this is incentives. Some of this is ETH fees being what they were, keeping this down. I mean, this is a big jump. A lot of that is ETH appreciation, but if ETH fees were lower than what they had been, I'd expect this to be even greater. I mean, a lot of this is just the ETH USD chart anyway. So what I'd like to see into Q4 is a new all-time high for TVL. If that happens, I expect DeFi to be bullish, and this would form arguably a cup and handle basically on TVL. Yeah, I'm going to TA TVL. I'm that guy. The stuff at the top of the list is the usual suspects: lending and borrowing, curve at 11.7. And then the rest of the DEX AMMs, some derivative type stuff, but all the usual suspects. And this is just ETH TVL. If we go all chain TVL, that has hit, basically similar levels to previous all-time highs. ETH has the lion's share of TVL across the board if you just flip through all this. A lot of the other stuff's getting a lot of hype because fees are low and incentives are high, which makes sense. That's where money's going to flow. But where money sits currently is not really comparable. ETH versus everything else. You also have to take into account security issues and problems and attack surface and all that stuff, right? It's the can you sleep at night test. Can you put 5 figures, 6 figures, 7 figures in a chain that hasn't really stood the test of time? And ETH has enough issues as far as contracts on ETH, let alone this new stuff. Not that I'm a massive ETH fanboy. It's just you hear about you hear about all these things that happen on all these other chains, including ETH. It's just like, Jesus, do I want to keep any amount of money on any other chain for any amount of time? Not really, me personally. Like I said, gas has been trending up. It seems as though anytime I want to do anything on Enzyme, gas is infinity and it costs me 10K per transaction. And it's just like, okay, I guess I have to wait because this doesn't make sense economically to even do anything. Gas today has been okay, but yesterday or basically any time during volatility, it's been just spiking out of whack continuously. I want to mention Sol real quick because it did hit the daily Kijun here, which in a vacuum is a great buying opportunity, and it has bounced so far. This isn't like a back pat or anything. I'm just saying if you're ever caught out of a trade, you can either just add regardless, right? Like obviously if you would have added it anywhere between 50 and 130, you'd be fine on the way up. Or you can be extremely patient, or do a little bit of both and buy the Kijun or bid the Kijun, as I like to say, bids on the Kijun. The downside of this here is that the 200-day moving average is so far down that if this thing does fail, it's likely hitting much lower lows. So I'd be cautious with that, but so far so good. And the DeFi perp index is maybe deceptively more bullish neutral than a lot of these other charts I'm about to show, because this doesn't look terrible at all. This looks fine for me. If going into Q4 we can get back above the cloud, back above this VPVR level, out of this range. I think what was surprising for me is how quickly over the past few days we just lost everything that we moved up over the past 2-3 months. Stairs up, elevator down, I get it, but it's never not surprising to see that swiftness in the market. Seems like when someone's selling, everybody decides now's a good time to be selling. If anything, it's a sign of poor liquidity and high retail mentality where there's just this herd selling and buying all the time, regardless of what's going on. But I do like that it's above the 200. I like that it's still in the cloud. I like that it's still in the range. I like that it's still in the VPVR levels. I like that RSI dipped way down. To me, I've said this on the other individual coin videos over the past week or two, but I want to see momentum. completely reset. We were way too gung-ho off the bottom too quickly, I think. So a pullback is fine, but to see this like 40% over the past few days or more on some of this stuff seems a bit much to me. In any case, I think this is well positioned in the moment. What I don't want to see going into Q4 is any break below this range. That is an extremely bad sign, because at that point we're below the VPVR, we're below the 200, and we're retesting lows, which I do not want to do if we're actually bullish. The one chart that has actually played out as I expected it to play out. This isn't comp, this isn't SNX, this is some super tiny market cap coin that probably nobody trades but me, and I'm only aware of it because I trade on Enzyme. But Melon USD, which is the Enzyme token, finally broke out of its ascending triangle. It's pulled back a little bit over the past few hours, but this still looks okay. The fact that it didn't break down maybe was the biggest key. That this was actually going to break up. Everything broke down over the past couple days, and Melon kind of held that level that we'd been watching. But yeah, not back padding. This is just basic TA stuff. It did break out. It did hold that support, and I still like highs. I mean, this looks fine to me for more eventually. Don't know how fast it'll go, but it looks pretty good. Volume picking up as well on Kraken. Comp, below the cloud. A lot of this stuff is going to sound the same. It's below the 200. I don't have the 200 on here, but below the cloud, below the 200, not something you can be bullish on in the near term anyway. This thing needs to get back above 400 basically into mid-late October. This inverted head and shoulders, cup and handle, whatever, ascending triangle. It was a bunch of stuff that just could not break out. Maybe it's regulatory uncertainty. Maybe it's comp dilution rewards in incentives. I don't know, but this thing didn't want to make it, and it doesn't look super great at the moment. Maker, very similar, just lost everything, right? In like 2 or 3 days, it's like, oh, we're selling. Doesn't make too much sense to me. How does it go this bullish and this bearish so quickly? But I guess that is what it is. Low liquidity, risk on, risk off, whatever you want to call it. We go from looking bullish to neutral to absolute dumpster fire, in a couple days. So this thing needs to get back above 3K by late October to look decent. Aave, also below the 200, below the cloud, needs to get back above 350 into late October to look decent. And a lot of these charts have, I don't know if this is a expanding broadening wedge, if it's a descending broadening wedge. I don't know what this pattern is, but it's ranging and ugly. On BBBY, this ended up breaking up eventually. So if this gets back to 400, it should be good to go, this type of pattern. But it definitely has to get there first before you can call anything that's going to go higher. Uni, same thing, below the 200, below the cloud, needs to get back above 26 into late October to have a chance at anything. Sushi has that same descending, broadening wedge thing. Sushi's had news that the founder finally is stepping down, leaving, whatever. And, it is what it is. But it made the chart look extremely nasty. And there was some evidence of VCs selling before the news / announcement. So that never makes you feel good. But this chart-wise is the same thing as the others. Needs to be above 12 by late October to have a chance at anything bullish in Q4. Curve looks the most neutral amongst everything. It's still in the cloud. It's still above the 200. It doesn't have any broadening wedge qualities here. It's just sort of flat. And into Q4, into late October, needs to hold above 250. So that one's still just watching and waiting. BAL has, or had, evidence of this head and shoulders that actually did break down in a day, right? It goes from neckline to just dying in a day. Below the 200, below the cloud, 27 is the level to watch into Q4. Anything above that, and I like 45 plus. Certainly doesn't lean bullish. Currently, BNT, same thing, had this head and shoulders quality that broke down below the 200, below the cloud, needs to be above 4 into late October to have a chance in Q4. ZRX, same thing, below the 200, below the cloud, head and shoulders-ish prior to breakdown, needs to hold above $1 into Q4. And I mean, you could just put alerts on charts for all this stuff Just look at the cloud, look at the 200. The levels pretty much match here and everything. And basically ignore it until mid to late October, unless you're looking to buy lows. If it does continue lower, 1 inch, same thing, head and shoulders quality to it, below the 200, below the cloud, needs to be above 3 into mid October, late October to have a chance at bullishness. They announced today that they're adding Arbitrum support, so hopefully that helps fees. Hopefully, as all this stuff merges to layer 2 or adds layer 2 compatibility, that'll also lower the fees on layer 1 because more stuff is being pushed to layer 2. So that doesn't lean bullish in any regard. SNX, same thing, has this broadening wedge quality to it, below the cloud, below the 200, needs to be above 12 into late October. They have a chance at bullish continuation here. Failed the Adam and Eve, failed the ascending triangle, failed all sorts of stuff. It's just sort of ranging now at these levels. And then Link, historically on the MA multiplier, it's really only been down below the 365 MA 3 times in the past 3 years. So this is either a massive buying opportunity or this mega bull trend is just over. We'll know by mid-October because this thing will pull up above 30 with everything else, if everything else pulls up to its 200-day moving average and cloud levels. If it does, I like 70 by the end of year. Anything above 70 is a gift from the gods on high. Fight me in the comments, link Maxis, because that is the 2.5x multiplier, which it struggled to get to on the early 2021 bull run. Lastly, I'll just mention the ETPTC fund and DeFi portfolio I trade on Enzyme.finance for Techme Capital, non-custodial portfolio management tool where you can send ETH or USDC or just watch what I'm doing. You can see everything, including AUM performance allocation. You can see all of the yield plays in vaults here on Aave, Comp, and Yearn. You can also see the trades down in the trades tab, as well as deposits withdrawals that have happened through the entire history of the portfolio or fund. That's all for this one. Like, dislike, comment, share, subscribe, and happy trading.